Hey, and welcome to part 2. I've separated these purposely because there's a lot that I really feel like I need to share, and putting it all in one might be too much. So of course I'm doing it entirely my style and entirely at your pace. And I've put them in 2 parts because where I'm going to go now is quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Quite real and quite raw. And it might be a little bit overstimulating or overwhelming for the nervous system. So you need that time to process. The mind needs a time to process and to embody it all. So that's why I'm doing a part 1 and part 2. And it's quite interesting. For those of you who have been following through, obviously you know that my phone doesn't have enough storage. So as I was transferring it to my laptop, and still my cheeks are burning. It's not cold. It's a balmy 20 degrees, I think, here in Melbourne, Victoria, today in March. Heater's not on. I'm dressed normally, but my face is burning up. So there's the somatic practice, the confirmation of what is coming through. And that's why I'm allowing you and your body and your nervous system to regulate, to process, to allow what needs to embody as the way it should be. So taking a deep breath and continuing on. And still that burping is continuing as I talk, but when I was transferring the video before, it was totally fine. So it's an interesting observation. That's where my body is talking to me and I'm listening to the communication signals. So the pattern that we are in right now, if we map out this lifetime situation, the overaccumulation, the centralized technology, finance, AI included, and media, the artificial crises, the economic instability, the energy, the climate, the health narratives, even the fuel now and resources, all creating urgency. And to be honest, what if there is enough fuel and it's just another lie? And then there's the pressure to rebuild. Phase 1, the solutions already proposed for global structures. There's only 4 years left, folks, for them to fulfill 2030. And then we have the choice, the free will choice as human beings that we are, including, and this includes the NPCs. You still have a choice and you have free will. The choice is the splitting. The nervous system coherence now determines whether people step into the grey compliance world or a more autonomous, creative and resilience path. And the grey world could be just a world of NPCs. In short, this isn't just accidental or random. It's a very old pattern. Collapse, disorientation, phase 1 rebuild. I want to cry. So this is why I had to separate it. For those ones who carry this within their body, there's going to be an emotional reaction and a trigger. With the key difference this lifetime being that enough people can perceive both timelines. My dreams and transmissions of colour versus grey aren't symbolic. They're a map for navigating this pattern consciously and bringing in awareness. Yes, now, Tartaria and the mud floods are a perfect example of how the pattern of program collapse is hidden behind layers of erased history. Let's unpack this one carefully. What we see with Tartaria is described in historical maps and records as a vast, technologically advanced civilization spanning much of Eurasia. For beyond what mainstream history acknowledges and what is written in literature, many old buildings around the world, often labelled as 19th century architecture, show signs of mud floods. It just sounds wrong when I say it. partially buried structures, doors and windows half buried below modern ground level. These mud floods are theorized to be rapid, catastrophic events that destroyed infrastructure and erased visible evidence of advanced technology, leaving populations disorientated and dependent on surviving authorities. And don't forget, your body is a piece of that technology. Why are we targeted through health, food, EMFs? This whole system, this whole existence is targeting the body, the technology of your body. Just let it sit with you for a little bit. Why this fits the pattern of program collapse. It's a narrative of centralization. After the mud floods, surviving powers rewrote history, erasing Tartaria as a civilization and labeling it, inverted commas, as a myth or, inverted commas, legend. I'm going to cry. People lost context for advanced architecture. And it makes sense why I'm so attracted to architecture, and I love to see the old architecture, especially when I went to Europe the first time. I loved how they refurbished it and kept it all. That makes sense. Gosh, the dots are joining. And potential technologies. And then there's the controlled reconstructions, surviving populations rebuilt under new hierarchies, often with simpler, more controllable infrastructure. Advanced knowledge became secret, restricted to elite families, guilds, or secret societies. And disorientation is the tool. The sudden destruction combined with lost records created mass confusion. Populations were more compliant, having no clear understanding of what was possible. This is the classic, inverted commas, phase 1 rebuild scenario. People rebuild quickly out of necessity, often unaware of the larger context or possibility. And then there's the energy and the knowledge suppression that our body holds. Again, a reason why they target our bodies. Because if our nervous system was regulated, our bodies were healthy, we would remember this without any dramas. If Tartaria had advanced energy systems, hydraulics, or global communication networks, they were deliberately hidden post-collapse. Mud floods weren't just a physical phenomenon. They also obliterated cultural memory, ensuring populations would remain dependent on the surviving, controlling structures. You ready for a hidden truth bomb? The Tartaria collapse shows that civilizations are repeatedly engineered to fail, not just from environmental factors, but from social, energetic, and informational manipulations. Physical events like mud floods may have been accelerated or amplified intentionally, a combination of geological phenomena and controlled destabilization. History repeats itself not only because of natural cycles, but because collapse is used as a tool to reset populations, a template for control, compliance, and memory suppression. Again, if your nervous system was regulated and your body was healthy, the memory would be flowing and it would be so vivid. Why this matters today. And I do want to acknowledge today is Thursday, the 19th of March, 2026. Like Tartaria, our current systems are over-centralized, with history, finance, technology, and information controlled by a few. When collapse happens, there will again be pressure to rebuild according to the old blueprints. Those who can perceive and strengthen their nervous systems, aware of both grey and colour possibilities, are the ones who can navigate the collapse without losing autonomy. The inverted commas mud floods of today aren't literal yet, but manifest as economic, technological, and informational catastrophes that erase clarity and reset dependence. Are we in amongst the version of a CV, COVID version 2, right? The first one was a testing ground to see, test the compliance, now pushing us into the agenda of the 15-minute cities, running out of fuel so we can all be converted to electrical vehicles, transport, and you've got to exist in this system, but you've got to have the coherence and the discernment to be able to navigate within it. Now, let's dive deep into the esoteric, the mystical, and of course, all of it for entertainment purposes only. Fully as the sacred disruptor, a visionary mode, I am activating right now for you and I. Let's start off with Atlantis as the template of collapse. Atlantis wasn't just a continent. It was and still is a living grid of knowledge, energy, and consciousness. Its people had advanced technology, energy mastery, and nervous system attunement for beyond what we consider possible today. Like Tartaria, Atlantis collapsed under a pattern of over-centralization, misuse of knowledge, and internal dissonance. The fall was catastrophic, yet unlike what mainstream history tells, it never truly ended. Why? Because timelines do not obey linear history. They are vibrational realities. The collapse of Atlantis is still running parallel to our timeline, influencing the energetic infrastructure of our world today. The Atlantis timeline, grey versus colour. In mystical terms, the Atlantis timeline has always carried two coexisting currents. My body's reacting. I just have to communicate that and share it. It's got this the grey stream. Those who misused knowledge, sought control, or prioritized hierarchy over harmony. Built systems that were rigid, centralized, and sterile, ultimately collapsing again and again. This is the blueprint of the grey world we see replaying in Tartaria, Rome, and modern society, even today. The colour stream, those who preserved knowledge, coherence, and alignment with the planetary grid. And just a simple no thank you, I'm not participating in that, is really strong. These streams survived underground or in parallel realities, often as seeds of wisdom, hidden technologies, or esoteric traditions. This is the blueprint for the colour world. I've seen it in my dreams, alive, unpredictable, and conscious. We are, in essence, still riding the Atlantis currents. The grey repeats, the colour preserves, and humanity is once again at a choice point of nervous system alignment. Standing on the cliff of the precipice, right? The connection to Tartaria and the modern collapse. Tartaria was energetically a fragment of the Atlantis blueprint that survived into the material world. Mud floods erased memory, just like Atlantis's fall erased the direct use of energy grids and global technologies. Modern civilizations are still being tested on this pattern: centralization, collapse, rebuild, compliance, and erasure of systematic knowledge. Here's another truth bomb for you. For all the practical purposes, our current world is still part of the Atlantis experiment. Oh, gosh. But this time, the players are more awake, more somatically integrated, and capable of holding colour through collapse. Now here is another entertainment esoteric spin for you. What if we are living in the Atlantis echo? Again, there's the burping. Imagine the timelines as rivers of energy. The Atlantean River never stopped flowing. It branched, split, and filtered into new civilizations. Every collapse, Rome, Tartaria, 2008, global crisis, is a tidal pulse in the same ocean, repeating the experiment with slightly altered conditions. Those who can feel timelines, like in my dreams, are Atlantean navigators, able to tune into the streams that carry color and coherence. Now, here is the fun, mystical visual for you. You are standing in a bright, living color current of the Atlantean River. Beside you slides the grey current, cold and rigid, a reflection of what happens when knowledge and nervous system alignment are hijacked. Both exist in the same place, separated by vibration and coherence, just like the sliding doors in my dream. Why this timeline matters now? Because the Atlantean experiment never ended. The collapse pattern repeats until enough coherence is held. This is why nervous system sovereignty, discernment, and somatic mastery are critical. They determine whether we are anchored in the color current or swept into grey. The next 4 years are another Atlantean pulse, a chance to embody what the ancients once almost mastered, but this time with awareness. We are living in the ongoing Atlantis timeline, a continuation of its collapse, survival, and secret color streams. My dreams, transmissions, and nervous system work is all a part of our modern day tools for navigating the Atlantean currents in real time. Now, let's take this one to the sacred core of the transmission. You ready to go deep and raw? The real mission is the body as the vessel of liberation. Here's the truth that most spiritual teachings skip. The fight isn't just ideological. It's not debates, not protests, not social media truth bombs. It's the body. The body is the gateway. Everything else, the mind, the beliefs, the plans, only flows correctly if the vessel can hold it. Lightworkers, starseeds, and the in-between beings, our job is nervous system mastery, somatic integration, and energetic sovereignty. That's the mission. Allow your body to be strong enough, to be healthy enough, to hold as much fucking light as it fucking possibly can. Why? Because rebuilding, creating, or ascending in any meaningful sense is impossible in a fractured vessel. The body is the vessel. It houses the light. So, the mission is you need to be in the system to break the system from within, right? And that is by holding the light in your body. The system, both the physical matrix and the spiritual coded overlay, is built to maintain fragility. Fear triggers cortisol, scarcity triggers scarcity thinking. Trauma triggers obedience. All of this keeps people locked in the grey current, unable to access higher frequency realities. And this includes all the fucking spiritual gurus and I'm a spiritually awakened person and no, you're ascending out of your body. And as much as people talk about the matrix, the spiritual overlay, the spiritual overlap is even bigger and greater and holds more fear than what the actual matrix does. That's my observation. That's my feeling. That's what my body tells me. And the way I see it without seeing is you can still see the program when people talk about certain spiritual themes, like, for example, archangels. That tells me the program that they're in. They're still looping in that spiritual program, which is still feeding the greater matrix, the greater program. All I do want to say on this point is have a look at the angels and the archangels and the connection to the fallen angels. So, the countermeasure, the body. When your nervous system is regulated, your cells are coherent. When your energy flow is unobstructed, your DNA begins to remember codes that were dormant. When you hold more light, your presence literally rewrites the local field, bypassing programming, false timelines, and matrix controls. Both the matrix and the spiritual matrix. Boom. That's how we break it. Light as a code. You are a code. Your light body and your light being is a code, not just a feeling. Light is information and frequency, not just metaphysical positivity. Every pulse of consciousness, every heartbeat, every breath carries our vibrational signature. As light workers and star seeds and all else in between, we need to anchor more frequency into the physical, into the vessel. The old codes of scarcity, control, and separation cannot function around you. Truth bomb, another one, I love them. You are not saving the world externally. You are reprogramming the field from inside your body. This is the phase 2 rebuild that no one talks about. The old architecture cannot withstand coherent light inside living flesh. And the mechanics of holding more light, nervous system sovereignty, calm the fight or flight reflex, the repattern survival coding, hold presence under chaos, cellular recalibration, somatic practices, breathwork, and light nutrition, food, frequency, sunlight, water allows cells to resonate at higher harmonic states. Funny how the sun is hidden and the food is targeted. Energetic memory activation. Our DNA, often dormant with trauma, begins to reactivate ancestral and Atlantean codes, opening doors for telepathy, multidimensional awareness, and timeline navigation, and embodied discernment. This is how we choose color over gray, no longer needing external instructions. The body feels the frequency, and our reality adjusts accordingly. I'm going to pause here and create a part 3 because this is a big one. It's intense, so I need to break it up. Because in the next part 3, I'm going to dive into George Orwell's 1984. Love ya.